we are joined by Mr. Justin Kruger, and he's running for councillor of a ward where he's grown up. So tell us a little bit about that first before we go into anything.
Okay, so thank you for having me. Basically, what a lot of people don't know is that your country, you have a national election, and then you obviously have a municipal election. In your municipality, you have wards. So for example, in Johannesburg, we have 135 wards.
All right.
If you could just imagine, you take a big piece of pie of Johannesburg and you cut it up into 135 pieces. That will give you a ward, and your ward will generally average around 12,000 people in that little piece of pie.
Can anybody run for a ward? I mean, what does it take? What do you need to have? What needs to be inside you for you to run for a ward?
Well, firstly, in terms of formality, you need not have a criminal record, if possible, or incarcerated within the last, I think it's in the last 5 years, for longer than 2 years. So that's mandatory. You've obviously got to be a South African citizen. So that's step one. And then step two, you really got to look at it. You got to say, well, in my pie or my ward, I've got 12,000 people that I need to campaign to and try and win their favour.
What is it that made you want to become a ward councillor?
It's a cliche, but I want to better my country.
Okay. And your ward, I mean, obviously this is a place you've grown up your whole life. So just give me 2 things that you'd like to change.
Okay, so I want people to stop complaining and I want them to get involved. So I want to work with people. That's number 1. Number 2, let's try something new. I want to see what does 2021 governance look like. The governance that we were living with, and that it's pretty standard, it's normal, it's, you know, what's a new system? I want to bring something new.
Being a whole governmental entity, it's got a whole bunch of red tape and barriers that you have to get through. So I mean, I know that you would like to make this new. What are some things that you want to do?
So firstly, like, that's a very good point, is there's a lot of red tape. There's obviously legislative red tape, and then there's obviously people.
Yeah.
And people are often your hardest challenge. So I'm under a movement called CMOSA. CMOSA stands for the Civic Movement of South Africa. And you can Google what civic means, but it's generally done from the heart. And it's with no political affiliation. So I feel that on a people way is that when I'm dealing with the council, because ultimately people need to understand it's the council that's the boss. The ward council is purely a representative from his area. They influence decisions and stuff, and when they work as a collective, they can really do things. Okay. But other than that, it's the city. They're the bosses. When it comes to potholes, whatever you want to name it, it's a city worker that's instructed by city management to do X, Y, and Z, not a ward councillor. So we just kind of,
so
just a representative,
facilitator.
A facilitator, correct? Exactly. So how do you get stuff done in your area? Well, firstly, we're not politically aligned. So if the guy in the council might be an ANC guy, and I'm coming from the IFP, he doesn't like IFP doesn't like DA doesn't like EFF. So I've cut that out by working with a fresh, brand new, hot organization. So so I believe I can get some progress there because I'm not with the enemy, or I'm not with a friend, or I'm not aligning to a specific team. So I'm coming in neutral. I'm coming in as Switzerland.
Okay. So you have to run to be a ward councillor. Is there a lot of competition? Do you run against a lot of people?
So look, you've got your Johannesburg, which is 135 wards alone, and you've got big parties with big budgets coming in there and allocating hundreds of thousands to millions into just the city of Johannesburg, never mind Tshwane, Ekurhuleni or Mogale City. So now I've got my little ward, which is my little island, for argument's sake, which is obviously a lot more attainable to win.
Yeah.
But you got to campaign. You got to market yourself.
Within this ward, how many people are you currently up against?
So the main guy, given the demographic of my ward, is DA.
Okay.
There's a DA ward councillor, a guy I actually was at school with very briefly. I know him. And he's got a big brand behind him. Who he is as an individual, that's debatable as to what and who he's about and how good he is. That remains to be seen. But he's got a very, very big brand behind him. So I'm competing with his brand. I'm competing with his budget. And the budget for CMOSA and for me is from me.
So this is a David and Goliath type situation that you're looking at.
Exactly, it is that. Are they the bad guy like Goliath? No. Do they stand for a lot of good? Yes.
Just in terms of size, obviously,
Sure.
they're Goliath. They've got the backing, big budget, and a whole team behind this. And
Yeah.
you've also got your team behind this, but the backing comes mostly from you.
It's all me, all the campaign, all the marketing material and stuff. I have mentors. I have ex-councillors that are giving me assistance. I have ex-journalists,
Yeah.
ex-philanthropists giving me their input. But ultimately, I organize it and put it all together in a nice package, and hopefully roll that out to the people.
So we've gotten to the bottom of a few, burning questions. But what I want to ask is, if you had to just say you were on a stage, you were on a platform, you had a mic, and you had your ward, all the people in your ward in front of you, okay? What is it that you would say to them to get them to elect you ward councillor? What is it that you would want them to hear? Because at the end of the day, it's about your little community, your little slice of the pie.
It's a very good question. Please God, I have that audience now. I would say to them, guys, I've grown up in your area. I've personally put my life on the line for 12 years working for the police as a reservist, never getting paid. I've got some credentials to me, and that you can see on my website. But what I would say to the people is, on a national level, you can vote for whoever you want to. That's fine. But on a ward level, on our little area and our little oasis, I say let's keep it home-based. Let's work with a guy that's been in the area, who's put
Homegrown.
Let's work with a homegrown guy who's coming with something new. And I stress something new. A lot of parties are using cliches. We're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this. All I'm saying is we're going to do something new, and I'm going to do it with people. I'm not qualified to do this alone. I can tell you that right now. I'm not. I've got certain skill sets, but I can't do it alone. The whole formula of my campaign is working with people, literally working with people. And there's a how that's going to happen. A lot of people might ask the question, well, how am I going to work with you? Because also a lot of people say working together we can do more. That was ANC's campaign. I'm saying I really want to do it, and I need to do it that way. So if you're looking for someone that you can really work with close like this, who you can see at least once a month in a boardroom, we can talk about the problems, and let's talk about future.
Just one example. Just one example of something new. Just anything off the top of your head that you might be working on.
It's very simple. So new would be, firstly, I'm going to take the ideas of what the community have. I want to hear what their ideas is. There could be an 18-year-old sitting at home who's got this world-class idea.
Yeah.
So that's already taking his idea, putting it out on our website, on our forums, and seeing, do people bite? Do they like it? Does Ward 72 like that idea? And maybe they do, and they institute it. So I'm great, but I'm working with someone else's idea, with someone else, with the support of the community. So I've just basically administered this whole process, and that's what I'm going to do.
So you have a forum
Yes.
that you guys run.
Yes.
Now, is this forum specifically for your ward?
Yes. So we have a forum that would generally, there will be one just for our ward, yes. There will be one for Ward 72 and Ward 96. We do have another little lady who's campaigning in Ward 96, which is Broadacres in the Four Ways region.
Okay.
And she's also running her campaign, so I wish her all the best. But yes, there'll be a forum per ward. In the campaigning stage, obviously there will be my details on the site.
Okay.
If they want to ask me any questions or get in touch or have any ideas, I welcome it. If they want to throw a couple of rand at it, do. But essentially, please God, if I did win, from there I'm taking from whatever my salary, and I want to run it like a business. I want to have a PA, maybe even two, to basically collect problems, talk to people, get it all together. I will constantly liaise. The problem is with a lot of ward councillors is they do it all alone, and then they
So
wonder
they don't
why
have a
he doesn't
team?
perform.
Do ward councillors not have like a team that they consult with, like how the president would have parliaments or cabinets, whatever it may be?
So that's a good question. So we have what's called a ward committee, and the treasury give them a stipend of R1,000 per person, and you get 10 people.
Okay.
And they can come onto the committee themselves. It's not a lot of money. It's more for love. It's more civic duty. So they can become part of the committee and get involved. But the bottom line is, I'd like to have a committee of 100 people. More the merrier.
Yeah,
More the
definitely.
merrier. More the help. More the, if we're going to make a decision, we're making it together.
Definitely. I mean, that's the only way to make a change, is to involve the people, I would say.
I spoke with you this morning, and you were talking about how the Scandinavian countries do it, Finland and Sweden and that, and it's very cohesive. There's a
Yeah.
lot of relationship between state and public. I find in our country, and I'm sure a lot of people can attest to it, is that you got the state there and you got the public here, and they're often at loggerheads, and the state's either never performing and the public's overly complaining, or there's just, I don't find there's much cohesion.
How do you get people involved in this? As you know, people, they have busy lives. They have their jobs, husbands or wives, kids, gym, fitness, health, all of this stuff. Now, how do you get people involved in this? Because it seems to me that everyone likes to have an opinion on politics and complain about politics, but how do you get the people to actually get involved? Because that's the part that they actually don't do. When you talking about people.
Well, the biggest thing is, it's not the what, it's the how. The problem is no one's addressing the how. Everyone's got a great message, and I really wish that, and I think we all do wish that from the political parties, that their messages were enforced. But the how is never addressed. We're addressing the how. We believe we know how to do it, and we do it with people together. A why, when you're busy with all your life and everything like that, and I think people are quite hurtful. There's actually an interesting statistic that about half of all registered voters don't even vote.
Yeah.
It works out to something like 18 million people, if the stats are correct, that actually are registered to vote, but they just don't vote. They're just so
Consumed.
they're so consumed, or they're just so tired of it. So we're saying the how. We believe the how is in us actually doing it together, and I think it's committee style governance, whereby we meet monthly and we talk. What are the problems? What are the solutions? And what about new things? What's new? Do we build a table tennis arena in our ward? Because our ward is just so well maintained. Why should you get involved when you're so busy with your life? Because you live here. Okay, you live here. This is your home. If you're not leaving this country, this is where you live. We should all have a civic duty. Many faiths have a thing: Christianity, Judaism, Islam, that you should give a portion of your earnings to charity. Why? Why do that? Because if you do that, you do make a difference. So I'm saying is, well, let's get government-wise, let's give some of our time. Let's give a bit of our effort. If you want to throw some money at it, that's fine. But just give at least give your input. At least vote. At least have your say.
Yeah.
Have an opinion. You must have an opinion. You must talk about it.
Everyone has an opinion.
Go for
Everybody has an opinion.
Mm.
But like I said, I mean, for them to actually act on that opinion is another thing. I mean, how would you go about, collecting these opinions? I mean, like I said, everybody has something to say, but not everybody wants to do anything about it, or has the time to do anything about it, has the energy to do anything about it.
So what you could do is, firstly, let's work with digital and social media. Put it up on our page, put it up on the website, a complaint. It's a text message. If you don't have the energy to send a text message about the problems you're having, then
Then you don't have a real problem at all.
Then you don't have a real problem at all, or just deal with it and just complain to yourself. However,
Exactly.
you can do that, do it on an online platform, or alternatively, I want to go a little old school, and I'd like to, part of my salary, I will be renting out a hall once a month, where people are welcome to come, obviously practice the correct COVID-19 regulations, Let's sit together. Let's do it like a committee. Let's talk. Let's hash it out. Let's vote on decisions. Do it that way, and monthly. Remember, please God, if I win, my term is 5 years. Are you going to talk to me, complain about me at the end of the election, say, oh, you didn't do anything? No. Every month, let's do something. That's 60 months.
What would you say is your biggest strength?
I'm not married. I've got time on my hands.
Do you have a job that you actually do? Are you also just like a regular person from the ward, or have you been in politics your whole life? Tell us a bit about your credentials, your background, what makes you you.
Okay, so I'm an entrepreneur since the age of 15. Will be 33 in October, the 24th.
Okay.
Scorpio. I became a reservist at 19, and I was been a reservist concurrently with just doing entrepreneurship, various businesses. I've been in construction, I've been in carpentry, I've sold samosas, I've sold bottled water, branding, learned marketing. I've done quite a bit of, as any old entrepreneur would do. They get a lot of, jacks of many trades. And that has been my livelihood. However, I just decided to dedicate myself fully to this. I'm semi-proficient in Sizulu and Sesotho, so I'm quite good on that level of communication. And I've just got I think I got a little bit of guts, just to give it a shot.
Definitely, you need some nerves to give something like this a shot. It's not something that everybody would be interested or even have the cojones.
Yeah, the cojones.
To do.
Yeah. Look, you see, when you're dealing, you got to know your way around people. And being with the police was a great help, because I was in a state department, a very it can be a bit racially challenging, to be very honest with you. But once you get the communication right with people, and you can kuluma gangani or bawabulela, that helps. And I can say communication is key. It's people talking.
Yeah.
People, you just need to know how to go about talking to someone, and you'll be very surprised what you can get done. Very surprised. The most dangerous and most successful people, I don't have to name some of them. I can name some dangerous ones, but I think we all know who they are. They're all good talkers. Talk the talk. You live in Africa, you need to know the local languages if you want to get things done.
Okay, so there you have it. Thank you for your time. Any last statements? Anything you want to just send the people off with?
Well, thank you for the opportunity.
It's a pleasure.
Time. Lord knows I need the exposure. Let's try something new. Let's go to the 21st century. Let's really go there. We've got technology. We've got, that's social media. People have a lot of good ideas, and let's hear those ideas. Maybe those ideas actually, without saying a cliche, make our world a better place, and at very least make Ward 72 and Ward 96 better places to live, and be an example unto the other parties. At very least, if we can be an example unto the others.